Do a little intro since it's my name on the door.
It's right there. That's the guy.
All right.
That's his name.
There it is.
That's the guy.
All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody.
What's up?
I'm Adam. This is Tyler. We are back here to discuss golf and geek stuff.
Yes, we are.
So let's jump into it.
Left it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, so we decided to talk about what things we really want to work on in terms of our golf game, because we were both very excited to get working on something, because
Yes,
we performed not terribly, but we didn't do super well.
I believe we performed admirably, which is not an indication of how good or bad we were at golf. It was simply how well we were at guiding a fleet of ships, like admirals.
Yeah,
No, we were,
and also we were dealing with greens that were running at like a 15 or whatever. It wasn't that, but
I do appreciate playing. So we're going to talk about like Arrowhead Golf Club again, which is on my hat. This is the hat. I got this hat for hitting that eagle. I bought the hat with the money that I got for the eagle. They didn't
I
give
made
it out
an
like
eagle,
a
and all I
prize.
got with this stupid hat
Was a stupid hat and a shot that I'm going to chase for the rest of my life like it's crack cocaine. I know you hate those greens. I know you do. I find that I actually love the idea of sitting over a green and trying to read it like it's fucking gibberish, right? Like I need a Rosetta Stone and they've all been broken and it's missing and we've only got the like bottom corner piece of it. That's what I feel like when we're up there is it's like, hello?
I guess we can address the dog in the room.
We're going to address the dog in the room. You probably can't even hear the dog in the room. However, you know what? I'm going to move this camera for a second. Penny Girl is down here. She's hanging out. She's making a lot of noise. Penny does what I like to call her Athena impression, which is she hoots like an owl. Can you give us a hoot? No hoot? Okay, well, if you're not going to do it on camera, then you can't do it off camera. She's a very good girl. She was recently in the pet hospital. She broke into the trash. Anyway.
Chicken bones.
Chicken bones. For whatever reason, for Penny, I've been doing a Hank Hill impression of her. Well, you see, I found myself about 40 chicken bone. That's not even Hank Hill anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, we can edit that part out. That was just Foghorn Leghorn.
It's Foghorn Leghorn meets like Bill Clinton. Just
now,
on,
son, you found yourself about 40 chicken bone.
Just on Arsenio, just doing a sax solo, and
you are about as many chicken bones shy of the votes you need. This is a terrible, terrible Bill Clinton impression. I know you hate these greens.
Yes.
I actually love the idea of every once in a while you're on a golf course and there are greens that you are terrified of. They are slippery. They are slidey. They are going to get away from you. They are, if you are not reading what direction the grain is laying in, then you are going to mess your putt up. And I find that to be a thing that maybe if I had to deal with it every day, it would be a little different. But it also leads me into that challenge to me is also why I think that I want to get a new putter. That challenge right there is why I think I want to get a new putter. I know that we ended on a cliffhanger last time of the like, what are we going to do for, your golf game, my golf game, things like that. So I'll take the lead on this and I'm going to say, I was on a game show called Holy Moly. I'm just going to keep teasing that for those of you who don't know that I was. And I won my episode, and they gave me a golden putter. Now, it was a putter that was very terribly spray painted. There were fingerprints on it, and it was kind of smeared by the time that it arrived to me.
I think you've repainted it a few times.
I've repainted it a few times, actually, yes. And I've repainted it simply because it just sits in my apartment. So they shipped me a very nice tailor jacket, which lives in the closet, and a very nice mallet putter that was spray painted gold. And it had just sat in my, in the house. And so I've been using this blade putter for many, many years. And I recently thought that it was like, maybe it's time to make a change. Nearly every pro on tour uses a mallet. Rory uses the spider.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty switched to it, and his putting immediately got better.
Yeah, all the Team TaylorMade guys are using the spiders.
Right. And and you can look at all the I even think of them as like fad putters, the lab golf stuff and things like that, where it's like, are they really, have we proven them to be, good or whatever? But that being said, I think that the evidence is overwhelmingly in favor of the idea of moving away from a blade and going to a mallet. Now, I know that Tiger like famously had that one quote where he was like, anybody using a mallet is cheating. And sure, maybe that's true. However, he's also Tiger and he's just better at everything.
That's also side note. That's one of my favorite things. He did a video with David Spade, and he went out playing golf with David Spade. And there's a moment where he has the putter, and he said, "Yeah, I've been using this putter since 1994 or whatever. It's that same Scotty Cameron." And he said, "Yeah, it's the same putter." And David Spade just turns to him and just goes, "Like, is it like a money thing, or like can I help you out?" But yeah, he's used that same putter. The wear mark on that thing.
I love talking about this putter because I believe that if you go dollar for dollar, pound for pound, literal, figurative, I believe that it would be the most expensive piece of sports merchandise of all time.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Because like if you roll it back and you think about the greatest of all time in every fucking sport, right? Tom Brady threw a lot of footballs. Serena Williams had a lot of rackets, right? There's this idea that every, greatest player of sports, Michael Jordan had many different jerseys, had many different, basketballs. So everybody can say, "Oh, I have a thing from this. I have the football that this person threw, or the touchdown they caught, or, the tennis racket they used, or any number of pieces of sports memorabilia." However, there is one Scotty Cameron putter that Tiger Woods has used his entire career.
Yeah.
And if that ever hit the market, I believe that would be like an earth-shattering number of like whatever it would auction for.
Yeah, no, because nobody's getting that until he's done with it.
No. Yeah.
Like they're not until he decides to let it go, which he probably won't.
He shouldn't, and none of his kids should. It should either end up in a sports museum or it should just be like a family heirloom.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum. But that's why I do believe that, like, you want to talk about sports memorabilia, collectible items, things like that. I believe that Tiger Woods' putter would be the most expensive piece of sports memorabilia ever sold, if it was ever sold. And I certainly hope it never is.
I don't think it will.
Right.
I think Charlie's going to hang on to it. I think that's just going to get passed along.
Does. Yeah.
And just, and that's my whole thing with Scotty Cameron putters too. Like if I were to ever to get a Scotty, you want the blade. Like you want the classic Scotty look, and that I wouldn't use it. It would be like, it's a status symbol.
It's an ornament.
It's jewelry.
You love an ornament.
Yeah.
You're a big Christmas guy. Yeah. You love an ornament.
So like I would hang that from my tree. I think they make really beautiful putters. I don't think I will ever use one because it's not going to give me much help. I think a lab putter, there's science to that. There's
sure.
I think
a little zero torque.
They're trendy for a reason.
Yeah.
I'd love to be one of the YouTubers that gets sponsored by them. I would happily use a.
He says, looking directly into
I would
the camera.
happily use a lab putter, because I'm using my my Odyssey Jailbird Mini, and it's bright red, and I love it, and I don't see myself changing that anytime soon, unless I get a sponsorship. But
I think the best thing to happen to lab putters was JJ Spawn sinking that 60-footer in the rain. I think the second best thing to happen to lab putters is Adam getting a sponsorship and showing the world that a lab putter changes your life.
Yeah, I can putt on the Arrowhead greens with a lab putter.
That honestly,
with a lab putter.
Wait, there you go. Yeah, I'm looking at the camera when you're selling your sponsorships. I I honestly, I've never tried one of the zero like lag putters. Um, I love the science behind it. I'm a huge fan of physics, science, nerdy shit. That's why we're here. So I'm, I'm open to the idea of it. However, I'm also just a believer that, the more mass you have at the end of your, putter head, it's a lot easier to keep it controlled if all you're just doing is penduluming it back and forth.
Why? Like it's just why there's help there.
Right.
That's why you put the heavy weights in the back of the driver if you want it to be more forgiving. Like
Right.
with a lab putter though, I think that actually the greatest thing they did was they started making them less ugly because like the first few just looked like spaceships.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now like you can get basically like a bladed lab, which is kind of crazy. Like
I'm into it. I'm into the idea of it. I'm just into the idea of changing my putter up. I feel like maybe this is a greater conversation than we're really having, but it's the idea too that I have felt so confident with my putter for so long. And one day I just stopped feeling confident with it. Now, is my lack of confidence with the putter, or is it me? And changing the putter, is that really going to change my problem? Or is it going to help me shift my mentality? And to me, once again, I feel like this is becoming like a recurring theme for me, this statement, that is golf. Golf is the mentality aspect of it. If you're not putting well and you stand over a ball and you're 3 feet away and you think to yourself, I'm not going to get this in the hole, you're not going to get it down because it's all about whether or not you have the mental fortitude to believe that you can sink that putt. So sometimes maybe a new putter is what you need.
Yeah.
Because it's not that you need a putter that's going to do something different. You just kind of need to like exercise the demon of the old putter.
Right. You need to take that out of the equation. Like,
right.
Yeah. And I think your issue also just might be 5-foot putts, but it could be the $250,000.
That was very rude. But yes, that might be my Emily Rose. Got to exercise that Emily Rose.
We might cut that out. That was mean.
No. But like you're not wrong, and it's something that I talk about a lot, which is I get the dog with the the cupcakes in front of it thing where it gets that like crazy far off look. It's every once in a while where I stand over a putt that is, and I don't know why my brain knows this, but I feel like it's when I stand over a putt that is almost exactly the like 5+ however many inches that it was for me to win a bunch of money on Holy Moly and have it change my life, which probably wouldn't have. I flash back to it and I get the yips. And I can say that because we're not currently playing golf. So I'm allowed to say the word while we're here. I get the putting yips. And it happens very sporadically and it happens over very specific distances. But boy, it hits. Because like I'll have rounds where I can sink anything from like 6 to 7 feet and I'll feel like I'm on top of the world. 3-footers, not even thinking about it. Just like stepping up, like one hand, knock them in. And I will hit like a 5-foot putt and it's just like, just a, get dragged back in time.
It's like the Jaws dolly zoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I Hitchcock zoom over that goddamn ball. Yeah.
It's so like you said, sometimes you need the new toy, you need the new thing. So not because you're just going to buy something to buy something, but like just to get that out of your head.
Yes. Yeah. I need to exercise the demon of what I feel like is my current putter. Now I have a second putter that just lives at my house. And it is technically more expensive and nicer than my current putter. It is covered in gold paint.
That's a conversation piece.
It's a conversation piece. You're the one who brought up jewelry putters. So my plan is I am going to get it re-gripped because I have very large hands and I use a kind of a jumbo oversized grip for my putter.
Also, it's spray painted gold on the grip, which can't be great.
Well, I'm going to spray paint the next grip gold too. It's a conversation piece. I'm going to have that conversation. But I also work in the art department, so I'm going to spray paint it with an enamel paint. That way, it hardens better and it cures, and then it's not going to chip and flake off in the same way that this current one does.
Which you would think the Holy Moly art department would have thought of, but...
Buddy, if you think the art department painted that thing, the word congratulations was handwritten wrong in the note card that I got like 7 months after my episode aired.
Nailed by a windmill.
Yeah, I think the only person who can currently watch season 3 of Holy Moly is Steph Curry because he was the executive producer. So that being said,
It was so much fun. Like I really liked it.
I'm glad you liked it. I had the thing where I had the like I made my peace with it like I don't know, like a couple of months ago, and I was like, you know what? All right, fine.
Years later,
maybe I want to go and rewatch that final episode and see what happened. And I pulled it up. I couldn't find it online. I can't find it anywhere. So I've only ever seen it once, which was standing as far away from the television as I could at a watch party with a bunch of my friends, standing in the way back, hiding in the curtains.
Did you ask Steph if he would let you watch it?
You know,
I assume you have his number.
I have not reached out to him.
Also, speaking of incredible golfers, like just people with way too much talent.
That is true. Okay. You know what? I feel like we should save this because this is a phenomenal deep dive, which is sports athletes that turn into great golfers. One of the people that I love to watch is Rafael Nadal. Has a phenomenal. Okay, hang on. I'm going to back that up. His golf swing is not phenomenal. His golf swing is a tennis backhand. However, his hand-eye coordination is so good that it is like the shortest driver swing you'll ever see in your life, and he pipes it like 320. And it's just the idea that if you have hand-eye coordination and you are an athlete, you are an athlete across the board. So, I'm going to say this right now. We're going to do a future episode on golfers who excelled in prior sports before golf, because I think that to me is a very fascinating subject.
We'll definitely bring this up too, because there's kind of like an idea that baseball players have a really hard time transitioning into golf.
True.
And so, like, I'd be curious to see some really good, like, baseball players that had transitioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can be a full episode.
Hockey players have the easiest time. And I think a lot of this comes down to the motion of golf. Like, how do you swing? Baseball, it has a lot of hips, but it gets a little armsy. But like hockey, a hockey slap shot and a golf drive, they're cousins.
I also
they're
feel
so
like
close.
The compression there is really similar.
Yes.
Like you're hitting down.
Yeah.
I mean, not on a drive, but like for an iron shot, you're hitting down on it. Yeah.
Where I believe that in golf or in baseball, you are kind of throwing that bat because that bat is so heavy. You're like propelling that bat to go through the ball. Where with golf, you have more control over how much compression you're getting on something. And, a baseball bat is very heavy, so you're allowed to whip it a little bit more. And that's why I think that a lot of baseball players, like a lot of my friends who were baseball players first, they tend to have very slicey, hits because they're all like arms first.
Yeah, and they're coming over the top with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think that a baseball swing can be very arms first and, like, kind of like whipping through, which then tends to leave a ball kind of flying high and up and to the right. We're getting very deep on what I already said is going to be a future episode. So I want to know right now, I'm going to back this straight up to your question to me was, what am I working on?
Right.
So my question to you was the cliffhanger that we left this on.
We really need like a producer here just to like keep us on track.
Well, we got Penny.
Yeah, and then she's being a good girl.
She's doing nothing. She's just laying.
No, but she's
laying there.
I mean, as long as she's not pulling any cords. She is. I mean, she's on top of the cord for my mic.
Yeah,
but all right,
that's
just going to take that away from me a little bit. Yeah. So the thing that I'm working on, and it's going to sound silly, I'm working on swinging faster.
Hell yeah.
And having a more athletic swing.
Hell yeah.
And not being as tentative.
Hell yeah.
Like we said in the last episode, we were on the range and we were working on some things.
Yep.
And you said, I just want to see you step on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I started just really sequencing, and it's really just, like hip arms. But you mentioned something. So, it was Tommy Fleetwood.
Yep.
And basically They asked him like, what are you doing with
It
your
was
arms?
so yeah. It was some video. Man, I can't even remember what it was. But I don't remember what the context. I remember the context of the video. I don't remember why or what or where. But it was uh, Tommy was talking some media group through how to hit out of the rough at some event. And, and he goes through all the technical stuff. He's like, well, you're hitting out of the rough, so it's going to come out a little hot, not as much spin on the ball, all those other things. And he's like, I'm going to get over this and I'm really going to I'm going to get my arms up here and I'm going to think about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, and one of the guys stops and raises his hand. He goes, okay, Tommy, so you're going to get your hands up here, you're going to do all that. What do your arms do on the downswing? And Tommy kind of turns to the guy and he's like, what do you mean what my arms do? And he's like, well, what do your arms do? And he goes, I don't know. I get them up here and then they just do what they do.
Yeah, they go along for the ride.
And yeah, they go along for the ride. And I was sitting there and I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And this was me a couple of years ago, very bad golfer, thinking your arms are holding a golf club, Tommy. What are you talking about, my guy? And it has taken me years to try and really dissect this. And I'm still struggling with the idea of it, which is your arms don't need to do anything. Your arms are the vessel to the club, but it is your hips and it is your torso and it is your torque that does everything else. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say that your arms don't do anything. It's you have to be able to get your hands and your wrists in the right position. But for the most part, it's your arms don't need to do anything actively. They don't need to be thinking about getting back to the ball. They need to follow down to the ball, right?
You think about it as you're taking the club back.
Yes.
And then once they get to the top of there,
once you're up there,
all right, cool, let's.
And that's where you'll see a lot of these drills where it's the people will hold a golf or a golf towel, and they'll say swing the golf towel because once you get that golf towel up to the top, if it you let it come around, it touches your back, and then you swing it through. You don't want to whip it out. You kind of want to it needs to follow. It's a pendulum motion.
I think that's kind of where we're getting to with my swing.
Yes.
Is just really make it, and I might need the towel because I might need to feel it whip me in the back because then I know that my backswing is big enough because that's the thing. When I lengthen that, everything clicks into place and I just have to aim a little further left.
I think you've done such a good job in the last couple of months of you've been doing your a lot of the new workouts that you're on. Yeah. What are they called?
P-Volve. Let's talk.
P-Volve. But you've been doing all of your P-Volve workouts. You've been.
I might be their first male influencer. It's mostly marketed to women, but yeah,
that's okay. And listen, I feel like I've seen a noticeable change in you in terms of your flexibility, in terms of your strength and things like that. You've been working out more. You've been taking care of yourself, and in all of that, I feel like as your friend, I was watching it, and I was like, I feel like you got a little gas in the tank. I feel like you're holding back on something. You can really step on this. So that was kind of my challenge to you one day.
It took us a minute to figure out what that meant.
Yeah.
In terms of I'm okay, because I think the worst thing you can think is swing harder.
Yes. Well, okay. I think the worst thing you can think is swing faster. I love to swing harder. I love the hammer the nail, right? I love the idea of where. Okay, so we're getting kind of deep into like golf theory here, but
golf lore.
Yeah. To me, I work with power tools a lot. I work construction stuff. I do fabrication, things like that. So the idea of the hammer the nail really clicks with me, and it's because if I'm holding a hammer and I've got a little nail and I've got my 2x4 and I'm holding that nail and I want that nail to go in. I'm not bringing that hammer all the way up here. I'm bringing the hammer right here. But I'm not just dropping the hammer on top of the nail, and I'm not trying to whip the hammer down on top of the nail. I'm bringing the hammer up, and I'm driving it through the nail, right? And to me, that's the idea of I don't need to be over swinging my hammer to get the nail. I'm going to miss the nail entirely. I don't need to be lifting the hammer up and then just dropping it because that's not going to deliver any power. But if I bring that hammer up a little bit and I drive through it with the power that I need and I build that momentum as I get to that nail, that's how you hammer the nail. I love the idea of swinging hard, but not swinging fast. anybody who then goes and watches any swing videos of mine, you will know this is something that I'm currently working on, always and forever.
Yeah, we're definitely going to post the Arrowhead, like driving the green video. But I mean, it worked.
But like I was driving really well up at Arrowhead that day because I was swinging hard at the ball and I was not swinging fast.
I wonder if there's also like a confidence at altitude up there too.
Oh, sure.
Like I get a solid 240 out of my drives up there.
But like there is a confidence. I mean, I believe that golf is built on confidence. I believe that the game itself is about where you can find yourself mentally. And if the place that you find yourself mentally is a bad place, can you get yourself to a good place? This is what separates the like elites from the pros. How many times do you watch a guy go down and like shoot super low on a Friday and a Saturday and be the clubhouse leader coming in on a Sunday with like 8 strokes to go? And you turn around, you got like Scotty Scheffler and like John Rahm in his prime. There is something about not being intimidated. There's something about learning how to let bad shots go. There's something about like knowing that you're never down and out, that's what the elite golfers can do. The rest of us, we're constantly fighting that. We're constantly like fighting this idea of I hit a great shot. God, I hope I don't hit a bad second shot. Oh no, I just 3-putted. Like, oh, my whole round is falling apart. All of this stuff.
It's the idea of like, oh, I can't string shots together.
Yeah.
Like it's that, like you hit a 300-yard drive and then you have a 40-yard chip to the green and you just duff it.
Why are you doing me dirty like this? But to the same point,
the trick is hitting 200-yard drives and then leaving yourself 100 yards in.
That's it.
Which is what, happened at Arrowhead. We're harping on this course because we don't play a lot of nice courses.
It also happens to be the course that we played the most recently, and I've played it quite often lately. And
you've played it more than I have.
Yeah.
It's and it's like I cannot sing this course's praises enough.
Yes,
the greens are very difficult, and that's not a bad thing. No. I just was being kind of a baby about it, and I also like we were on the practice green, and I was like, I think I got a handle for this, and I'm like, it's a practice green. It's not gonna be, but. It was great because Mike, he was out there with us, and I would just step up to my ball, and I just knew he would just step out to the side and just give me some insane read.
Yeah.
But it was right.
Yeah.
But he's like, put the ball here, and it's 13, 14 yards right. And I'm like, I trust you. And he was right.
Now, so the thing that I loved, and I think the reason that we keep going back to the Arrowhead thing, and the thing that I actually love about being in this like amateur golf league that I'm in and us going up and us doing stag day, is that golf can often feel like a very solitary sport, where especially if you're playing and it's like you versus the field, and you're just out there and you're trying to do the best that you can, you're in a foursome, all 4 dudes are trying to, play their game, do their thing, all of that. I love when golf becomes a team sport. I love when it is a 4-man best ball. I love a scramble. I love when it is, these goofy, sorts of like, 2-man heads up match plays, things like that, because then you get to have somebody in your corner. Then you get to have a group of friends that you're playing with that you get to do something like say, all right, what would I do on this putt? I'm going to go here. You should putt to here. I believe that you have this shot. You should lay up to here because you're money from 115 yards in versus like 80. And there's something about finding that camaraderie on the course that I love so much that I wish golf had a little bit more of most of the time.
Yeah. I was excited for that going into it.
Yeah.
Because I said, yeah, this is great. It can be a team sport. We can all have each other's backs. And in the fact that, Mike and I would say, okay, let's put some good drives out there.
Right.
So that you can just open up. And you did.
And I did. A couple of times.
Like if for some reason,
open up too much.
Yeah.
Slice the shit out of that ball.
If for some reason you didn't hit that green and the wind didn't take that ball, you didn't account for that. Mike had a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Mike was just pin high to the right.
Mm-hmm.
I was short, but in the fairway,
you were still on the green in 2.
So like we had a birdie look for one of the balls.
Right.
That's why I do love a scramble. I think we're all really good in that format.
We do well in that format because one, we have handicaps, so we get to play off like 90% of it or whatever most scramble formats do. And then two, I love to say it, but I think it's true. Like we're all Hot Shots golfer characters, where it's like in Hot Shots golf, you have this whole thing where it's like it's a video game golf thing, and you play these different things, and it's like here comes Mr. Big Arms, and it's like the guy who can drive the ball like a mile and he can't chip to save his life. And then you get like the tiny grandma where all she's going to do is plink it like 100 yards at a time down the fairway, but she's laser accurate,
Yeah.
I feel like when you play in the like 10 to 18 range, you get a lot of hotshot golf characters of people who are really good at one thing, pretty okay at other things, and really, really bad at one thing.
Yeah, like you get a lot of guys that can drive at 300 and then
and can't do shit after that. Or you'll get guys who are really good at chipping and can't get off the tee. Or you'll get putting whizzes that have zero approach shots. And they're putting whizzes because they're always putting from, the farthest part of the green.
Because also putting is like the one thing where that's the equalizer. Like you don't have to be an athlete.
No.
You just have to be smart.
Yeah. And you got to be able to read that green.
And you just have to have that touch. But
yes.
I'm definitely I've never been the drive the ball 300 yards hotshot golf character, but I've definitely been I've been the old lady.
I have seen you when your short game is on. Boy, oh boy, like you can be very accurate when your short game's good.
Yeah.
And that's where we've done pretty well in a scramble. So I will say I have a scramble coming up Saturday. There's a Saturday sometime in the future. It's Saturday.
It might have already happened by the time this comes out.
It probably will have happened by the time this comes out. But I'm very excited for the scramble that I'm about to play in for all of those reasons. And also, I feel like the vibes are high when you do a scramble.
Yeah, that's. I want to do more. I couldn't do this next one with tiny putters, but
you should do more.
Yeah, we did one. Probably 5 years ago at this point. The Halloween one.
Yeah,
we did a Halloween scramble. And
that was pretty fun.
So we did costumes, and we went to Encino,
yep.
which is a Muni course in LA.
Yep.
And we got yelled at by a group behind us.
Yeah.
I think they were just upset with the costumes, but I'm like, guy, it's a Muni.
It's a Muni on Halloween. It wasn't even that we were around Halloween. It was literally October 31st.
So I think there's some. I think there might be a photo on the podcast Instagram account. But it's me in the Chewbacca onesie that I borrowed from you.
Yeah, you borrowed from me and never gave it back.
And it's in the closet. Yeah,
favorite PJs. I know it.
Yeah, you can have it if you want before you leave.
Sorry, you can have it.
So we should do that again this Halloween.
We should have another.
Probably, we should do that, and we should do we should record it.
Okay.
And just mic up and just get Jason out there.
God willing.
Have him record.
God willing. So that Halloween was very fun. And I do love a good golf in a costume because I feel like it's also an equalizer. Like the people who are really good at golf are not that good in costume, where I'm not great at golf, but I can also be not great in costume. It really works out. And speaking of, I guess not quite Halloween, but at least a team format, arguably, where the vibes are high. I've wanted to talk about the new Star Fox video game for a while, which I would argue is a little bit of a team game.
Okay.
It's a foursome,
because
right? You get a foursome. You get the the plucky good golfer.
Okay.
In Fox McCloud, right? You get the golfer who sucks but has all of the good equipment and knows everything about everybody's drivers and irons and things like that. That's Slippy Frog. Clearly.
No, it's me. Oh no, I'm Slippy. I'm gonna need a minute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then you've got the overconfident golfer who probably hits a couple of really good shots around, but ultimately can't put it together as well as the really good golfer. That's Falco.
thought you were going to
And-
say probably hits people. And I'm like, yeah, probably.
yeah, both. And then you get Peppy, and Peppy is clearly just like the dad character.
Oh, he's the old man.
Yeah, is the old man golfer that has been like, he's like, I was playing the Beryllium Ping I 2s back before any of you were born. And like
he's plinking it, 150 down the fairway.
But he's doing all right. Like, he's money on the green, and he's always going to buy you around afterwards. I feel like the Star Fox, the Great Fox Foursome, is probably a pretty good golf foursome.
Wow. Yeah.
How's that for a segue?
That's
a
incredible.
hell of a segue.
At first, I was going to be like, "Oh, Penny, big stretch." No, that's great. So, does that make Star Wolf like the Live League? Like they just got.
You know what?
They got.
I think you're. Yeah.
They got big payouts. Like
they got big payouts. They're in it for the money, not the science.
Yeah.
Although
Andrew's trying to get his way back into the tour. He's the Brooks Koepka.
No, Andrew's some like golf legends kid, who like thinks that he deserves to be there and got a scholarship for no reason and has a sponsorship for no reason.
So we've got Star Fox.
They're
Star like the dream foursome. Great scramble team.
A phenomenal scramble team. Just truly extraordinary scramble team.
Like whenever Slippy can't get off the tee.
Yeah, Rob shows up and gives a little pep talk, clearly the caddy. General Pepper is just complaining in the background somewhere. I guess I will say, so moving on to the new Star Fox video game, which I have been playing. I wore a t-shirt of, huge fan. They really lean into the like Star Fox and like
Star
specifically
Wars,
Fox being they lean into the Star Wars of it all, but also like he's very money focused. Like multiple times through the whole thing, he's like, I don't know if you could afford this, what I'm about to pull off right now. And
do you know who I am?
I have really been enjoying the game. I think that it's been a great it is a great third or fourth remaster of a game that meant a lot in my childhood. It does make me sad a little bit. I feel like the last Star Fox game we had that had original content was actually Starlink: The Battle for Atlas, which I own the R-Wing like adaptive controller that went on the Nintendo Switch for that. And that was like the last time that you could play as Fox in an IP that wasn't like a remake or a remaster or something like that. And while I will sing the praises of this new Star Fox, all day long, I think that everything about it is great. The nostalgia of it is great. The updates of it are phenomenal. I think that everything that they've done with, really making it feel fresh and new while also being something that we've all played before has really been great. However, really want a new Star Fox game.
Like you want a new original
I want
idea.
a new original Star Fox game.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Fox being in the new Super Mario Galaxy movie, and that 3-minute intro clip was like 100% best part of the movie. With him appearing in that and them doing this, I feel like it's got to be on the horizon. But also as a Nintendo fan, big Nintendo fan, my hopes have been dashed against the rocks of expectation so often and for so long that at a certain point, the rocks of expectation are just going to fill up with ship, and it's just going to be one smooth, just wreckage all the way up. I'm still waiting on my Twilight Princess remake. They're doing Ocarina of Time for a fourth time again, but we've not gotten that great Wind Waker HD that they had for the Wii U ported over.
I think Ocarina of Time though, I think they just realized it's so iconic, and
it's a moneymaker.
They're just going to keep doing it.
It's a moneymaker.
Yeah, they know that's going to sell.
But they have HD versions of these other games that they've just not released, and it makes me sad because I'm a sucker, and I have money, so they can just get my money if they just release the HD versions of these games that they've already had.
The Philip Fry meme. Yeah.
Yeah, please just take the money from me.
How do you feel about? You excited for the movie, Zelda?
Can I plead the fifth on that. Okay. I know we want to do this whole thing with this whole, like, we want to liking things. We don't want to be negative about a bunch of stuff. There are too many podcasts full of dudes just being negative about things out there right now. However, there's a part of me that's a little skeptical about the Zelda movie. Mostly that I think that, video games fall into one of two categories for me, or at least narrative video games, right? Narrative video games fall into the category of you are playing through a story that is giving you context and understanding, and you are following a character and you are watching them make choices, right? To me, that falls down to the Last of Us is that. Red Dead Redemption is that. Following Arthur's story in Red Dead Redemption 2 is absolutely one of the greatest storytelling achievements of all time, I believe. It is a character that you get to know over 120 something hours, and it just breaks your heart by the time you get to the end of it. The other side of video games are the characters where you are the character. You get to make these choices. You get to go on these adventures. You get to do these things. And for better or for worse, that's what Zelda is to me. Link is famously a nonverbal, outside of the a nonverbal character. He doesn't speak. He doesn't talk.
It's going to be my text message notification.
Is that it? Is that your new vocal stim? Yeah. He doesn't. He. I believe that it is not a flaw, but that certain video game characters are devoid of personality simply because they are vessels for you to inhabit. And so I have a hard time believing that they will be able to pull off a character that historically has not really had a personality or any way of speaking, or all of the characters in the game to interact with you, the user, the player.
I forget the actor's name, but recently somebody asked him about it, and he said something really funny, and I don't know if it was intentional, but he said, well, I can't say much. And I'm like, that's good.
That's it.
That's good.
It. That's what you got to do.
Because you can't.
And if that's the focus of the movie, and if the way they go through the movie is to create this idea that Link is just a vessel for this power and a vessel for the audience to get to experience the world of Hyrule, I think that would be great. I think it'll be extraordinary.
I'd love it if he didn't say a single word. I think it'd be hilarious.
That would be that to me would be amazing. So my hopes are high, but my hopes are high with quite a bit of caution, I believe.
Yeah.
And also, I just think that video game adaptations can be really tough.
Yeah.
The best video game adaptations have either been extremely close to the source material, bringing up The Last of Us again, or, entirely away from it, while preserving the idea of what it could be.
Right. So close to the source material, 93 Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Just
No,
really
I think that falls a little more on the entirely away from it. People who wrote it didn't even know.
It's just a Mad Max movie.
It pretty much is.
Yeah, which is honestly though, as a kid, I was obsessed with it. Yeah,
I love that.
I love that movie for what it is, and I love that Bob Hoskins and Leguizamo, they were drunk for a lot of it. And just
why not?
I think they initially wanted Tom Waits to be Toad.
Okay.
Which would have been fun. I think Dennis Hopper as King Koopa is... Yeah. There's a fun story. I think I told you kind of recently, but there's a fun story where Dennis Hopper was talking to his kid, and his kid asked him, he said, Dad, why'd you do that terrible Mario Brothers movie? And Dennis Hopper said, well, son, it's because you needed shoes. And his kid said, Dad, I didn't need shoes that badly. And that's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's video game movies, they it's a tough
it's a tough genre to live in, because you get people, and I admit I'm one of these people. You get people who are I would say that video game purists are the book readers that have they're the book readers on cocaine. where it's like you go to see a movie and you get a book reader who's like, well, I'm a book reader and I didn't like that movie very much because they left out this one part in chapter 7 where they put milk in the tea and they didn't put milk in the tea in the movie.
It's just me talking about Jurassic Park. I'm like, well, in the book, actually.
In the book.
It's a perfect movie, but I get weird about the book. It's great.
It's a good book. Great movie.
Yes.
It's a great book.
Sequel book, way better than the movie. Lost World, the book.
I will
incredible.
have no Lost World slander on
Look,
this podcast.
I love, like, my Jurassic Park / World standing kind of goes in that order.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's just like it's a ski slope.
Yeah. World, there's some variation in World, I think. Because boy, do I love that Haunted Mansion.
That is true.
Second movie in that trilogy.
I think that in the Jurassic World movies, nothing has hit quite as hard as that shot when the volcano is coming down and the pyroclastic cloud has taken over, and you're just seeing the silhouettes of these dinosaurs just, like dying as they're like
just basically a brachiosaurus going no.
Oh, it is heartbreaking, and it is done so well. And I remember watching that in the theater, and I was like, I don't know what this movie's doing right now, but I'm fucking here for it.
Especially because, like, I looked, I was like, we're like 25 minutes in.
Yeah, and then and then you get the whole
That's the original ending in the book of Isla Nublar.
Okay.
I always want to say Isla Nublar because that's the name of the bar at Universal Studios.
And you know that
because I've been there once.
It's a pass holder. He's a pass holder, folks.
Yeah. It's also like, it's the most clever theming.
It really is.
Yeah. Isla Nublar. Love it.
And great souvenir glasses.
Yes. And the canon ending of that island is after the events of the first book / movie, they just carpet bomb the island and get rid of all the dinosaurs.
I mean,
but then Jurassic World couldn't happen.
Right. There's only one way to erase your mistakes.
It's not submitting your score. Like,
yeah, it is. It is just nuking an entire island. So I guess my thing with Jurassic Park is always that, like, they show this amazing island, right? Beautiful island. They shot it in Hawaii. All these things. It's this amazing resort. And you know what they never show? The golf course.
Yep.
There is a golf course on some Jurassic Park island. I swear to God, there's no way that there's not. Because you're telling me that celebrities are going to schlep all the way out there and pay like $40,000 for their kids to go and take a look at dinosaurs. And they're not going to want to play golf in these like absolutely beautiful, like, meccas of nature. I want to know what the golf course on Isla Nublar is.
Yeah.
And I also feel like that's where like what celebrity was playing when they were like, nah, screw it, we're gonna nuke the island, and they hit the button, and it's like Charles Barkley with his golf swing, and he's like, oh no, oh shit, I gotta go.
He finally figured it out.
Yeah, he finally figured it out.
Like, no!
He hits the ball, and he's like, oh no, it's a good one. Get out of here, and he's gonna start running. So I feel like okay, so maybe in the next episode, we got to talk about two things. I want to talk about celebrity golfers.
Yeah.
Specifically athletes, but we can also include certain celebrities. And I also want to talk about fictional golf courses that should exist.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't they? Because there's no reason that John Hammond would not have put a golf course where you can be putting with the, little dinosaurs running around. On any of those islands. Yeah. I refuse to believe it.
Are the greens punched? No, but there's a bunch of compies running around. So play at your own risk.
Yeah, are the greens punched? By what? It's the Velociraptor like claw coming around and just punching the greens.
It's like, well, we're aerating.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely, he says, like, spared no expense. And you can't say that unless you have 2 to 3 championship golf courses.
You are not a billionaire white man wearing all white linen and not have a golf course.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't even care. Like, I know he probably doesn't golf. He doesn't golf. You look at him, he's got a cane. He has a hard time walking.
Yeah.
That man doesn't golf. Golf is not...
He's using the automatic golf club that just shoots the ball out, yeah.
But, like, to men like that, like, golf is a status symbol. It's not a thing that you do.
Yeah.
He's cheating like a motherfucker.
If you look at his band on his hat, it just says Footjoy. Yeah, he's John Hammond. He's
John Hammond, sponsored by Footjoy.
Footjoy and Titleist. He's it's like he's got a Scotty Cameron cane.
You know what? The Scotty Cameron that is just the amber with the giant mosquito inside of it is like filed down. That's pretty good, Scotty Cameron.
Titleist. Let's talk.
You're just gonna spike the camera for any potential.
Yeah, I'm not picky.
Yeah.
Only the best though. Titleist.
Costco, Kirkland golf balls. Huge fan. I actually am.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, so next time we'll definitely talk about like celebrity golf swings, good, bad celebrity golfers that are just having fun.
Yeah. And
got LeBron. He's really getting into it.
LeBron's getting into it. LeBron has the golf bug. LeBron might be the first pro athlete to get obsessed with golf before he retired. He also might be the first pro athlete that should have retired and then gotten obsessed with golf.
Yeah.
I do love me some LeBron though.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll discuss that next time. Thanks for checking us out. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.